I cannot be the only one who has projects that have lived rent-free in her brain, such as cleaning up projects, and then never done them. And in the last video, you guys saw me clean up my entire guest room and turn it into a beautiful purple geode that has still some stock, but not nearly as much stock as it did before. Then that begs the question, the fact that I said that there was no more fabric in the garage, which there is no more fabric in the garage, but what there is a ton of patterns. And while it's not as many as it used to be, there's definitely still far too many in the garage, because technically the number that should be in the garage is 0, and we're not, definitely not, at 0. So in that vein, what I am going to do today is I'm going to endeavor to check 100 patterns, and I am going to try to do it all in one day.
Don't be ridiculous.
And if you've ever wondered what 100 patterns really looks like, it looks like this. These two bins right here are full of 50 patterns each. And there are a couple of rules for today's experiment. Rule number 1, it must be the pattern that I have the most plentiful of that I never check. Kids patterns. Rule number 2 is that all of these patterns must have 15 pieces or less, because I don't actually hate myself, and I would like to have some brain cells left at the end of the day. Rule number 3, vaguely create something like an eBay mystery box so that you can see the typical patterns that would probably come in an 50s child lot style box. And now I am going to do my best to absolutely check these just as I were doing every single day when I list about 5 patterns a day on my website. So I'm not gonna overlook details, I'm gonna notate where all the tape is and what pattern pieces are missing or woefully torn. And I did try and do an even spread of the brands, with including 40 Butterick patterns, 41 Simplicity patterns, 10 McCall's, 7 from Advance, 1 mail order, which is very old, and 1 Vogue, because there was only 1 Vogue child's pattern I found that had less than 15 pieces. And let's start with the Butterick. Starting off with the one that I showed you, Butterick 8107. This is from the 1950s, and somebody at some point sold it for a whopping 50 cents and drew over the very pretty drawing, so it's fine. We're starting off with a 12-piecer, and I will say, there's a fair number of these that are from Miss Ruth, so this could be interesting, because if you are new to this channel, I bought an entire estate sale in 2023 from a lady who had moved on named Ruth Gowdy. She had Ruth Gowdy's dress shop in Atlanta, South Carolina. And sorry, I got distracted. We're starting out strong with, honestly, I don't think I've seen this ever. This is wax paper that is pinned to this pattern piece because at some point they cut away the neckline and there's old tape on it. Starting out strong. This is why I don't do kids patterns. So I don't think this was Ruth's. No, this is not. So this isn't even an example of what she would do. But she's known for throwing away entire waistbands, cutting things in half, hacking skirt shorts. So this is gonna be exciting. And then it was time to dig back into checking the pattern, where first I take my checklist and I note the era. If you aren't sure what era the pattern is from, then go check out the Vintage Pattern Wiki, as it has a wealth of knowledge waiting for you. Next up is, the easiest thing to check is there instructions? There are, but they are a little torn. So we just circle yes, with an asterisk of torn. Because if I don't write down all these details, especially on a day where I'm trying to check this many patterns, I will forget, and then it will have been for nothing. Other thing, oh, did I bring that up here? I have a pill bottle full of pins downstairs so that they don't get thrown in the trash. Hold please, I might have another bottle that I can start for upstairs checking endeavors.
A few moments later.
This just keeps it so that when I do need to throw these away, because none of these pens will be good enough to use again, the lovely trash people don't get stabbed. So yes, I am going to unpin this, but this wax paper is not something that I advise keeping it next to, and God knows how long it's already been next to it. So we're just gonna fix that right now. It also feels heinous. So we've got number 4 here. Oh God, that one's got it too. So we're gonna note 4, cut neck at view C, old tape. And that's how we'll start this endeavor. At least we have number 4. All right, side front 6 is present, and it does have like 2 little tears at the bottom.
And with the small tears on the piece noted, I had missed something very, very important that I will realize very shortly.
This is number 3, the back. And at this, on the other one I didn't see it, but on this one it still has the actual cellophane there. I peel that off. Just because at this point this glue is dry. It's not gonna hurt you to peel it off. Ooh. Don't know if that was satisfying. I tried. Number 8. Check. 9. I promise I won't do that, or I'll try to.
I will realize something is wrong in 3, 2, 1.
So we have a problem. We currently have in this pattern right here, 8107. Does that say 8107?
No.
No, it says 8282. Which means, like most of us, they just found the closest envelope and shoved the other pattern pieces in here, or they used it and then didn't put it back with its original friend. So now I need to separate the 8282s from the 8107s. But before we go any further in this endeavor, let's go ahead and take a quick pause with the sponsor of today's video, City Beauty. And in case you haven't heard of City Beauty, they are a skincare and beauty brand that deliver visible, real results, helping empower women of any age to feel their best. Now for me personally, I am on team minimalistic skincare because I just struggle trying to find the realm to care. However, I have noticed as the years have gone by that certain parts of my innate structure have gained strength, and that is the luggage that is currently underneath my eyeballs. Yes, unfortunately, these type of like puffy purple bags here have literally existed on my body, I do believe, since I was 18. Because, well, when you choose a career in theater as a stage manager and it's in stress to you that you have to get things done at any cost, that cost is usually your sleep. So I have had these bags for as long as I can remember, and I have tried many a product over the years. However, I decided to give City Beauty's Brightening Eye Cream a go. Now this is designed to be put on day and night. I have just freshly washed my face before I get my day started, and now let's put on some eye cream. Because this is the first product that they do advise you use, and then you let it dry to apply the rest of your skincare routine, whatever it may be. Just make sure it includes sunscreen. Not just because I live in Florida, but because it's important. So then I squeeze out a little pea-size shape here. I dab a little bit on each side and then just kind of press it in there. Don't get this in your eyeball. And if you want, you can go around the upper, but again, remember, do not go near your actual eyeball. And then you are all done applying your eye cream. And yes, I have been using this for about a week. So here is me before, and here is me right now. So I really enjoy this product. I'm loving what it's doing, and I do intend to keep using this long term to hopefully maybe not worry so much about having to perpetually use concealer under my eyes so that it looks like I got some modicum of sleep. And if you want to join the City Beauty family, make sure that you're scanning the QR code right here or clicking the link down in the description and using my code StephanieCanada to get 20% off of your order. And thank you to City Beauty for sponsoring today's video. But now, let's get back into the journey through these patterns. This whole stack is 8282, because I try and stack these to the side to see if, like, in this pile of Buttericks there is 8282. And this, my friends, is why you cannot just open a pattern and just count the pieces and move on. Because you could have thought this was correct. You could have thought this was complete. Let's see if I can get the rest of this all checked out without any more craziness.
And I will say that checking the rest of the pattern went relatively without incident.
I'm like now programmed to think that this is all wrong.
But even with that predilection, I was thankfully incorrect.
Now we get to say complete, very exciting, and 12 out of 12. And that is 1 out of 100 Done. And that took me, I think, about 12 or 13 minutes, but that's with explaining everything. So let's see how fast I can do one.
And with my cell phone at the ready, I began.
Go. Envelope, sad. Instructions, yes. Not torn, great. 10 pieces. 8. This feels like 7 and 6 combined. When in doubt, lift it to the light. Yep, definitely 7 and 6 combined. 10, 5, 3 and 9, 4. 1 has got tears along the darts, and so does 2. I believe I'm missing 3. No, I'm not. Great, done. So if I'm just focusing on this, I can do it as fast as 90 seconds. So let's just say there are 98 patterns left times 1.5, which is minutes, equals
147 minutes.
divide by 60, technically a little under 2.5 hours.
Get your money, man. Life goes on. That's all.
Yes, I am hopeful for today.
And with that delusion under my belt, I set forth checking the rest of these. But what I had failed to calculate was just how convoluted these patterns would be to actually check.
Oh no. What are you? Chicken! These type of add-ons make me nervous because it sometimes and usually means there's a pattern piece missing. Oh, pretty bad tears. 4, and pins, and tape, and. Oh, that's still tacky. Okay, sometimes these old tapes are still like
Juicy.
attached. Don't try and peel those off then. 2 and 1, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Another one down. Pajamas. Those are always nerve-wracking. You've gotten wet. I don't think that's water. Yeah, no, that's not water. See that lovely, like, light yellow tint? Mm-hmm. Bob. Okay. That's a no-go from me. Don't list patterns that have pee on them from mice. All right, let's try this one. Oh! Hey, I'll take it after the last one. Look at that, factory folded. I know this because this is a nice little packet here. There are no re-iron lines. So on the flat side, if you saw a big line going this way, line going here, that's what we call a re-iron line. So someone didn't fold it exactly the way it was because it's almost impossible once you use it to do that. This is what you, as a vintage sewing pattern seller, love to see, because not only does that mean that this pattern is complete and you don't have to do anything else, you also don't have to waste your time ironing it, and the description time is much less because it's just factory folded. UC-FF, as it is on my website.
But with the first 10 under my belt, it was time to lock in and get to checking.
That's the only place I'll ever be able to outpace Stephanie Canada when it comes to patterns, is this like very specific niche. But
Okay. It is now 2 o'clock. And y'all, when I tell you, I don't think I've checked that many patterns at once. Potentially ever in that short of a time. So I've done all of the Butterick at this point, which is now 40, and then the one Vogue. And my brain if you could look in here right now, is soup.
Soup.
So let's just go ahead and fast forward to evening time, Stephanie, for round 2 of checking, which, oh God, is going to be like 60 patterns. Oh, but I can't do any more now, so it'll be fine. So see you in 3, 2, 1. Well, as promised, it is now 9:30, and I'm concerned for my well-being. It's fine. I've only been awake since 6 a.m., but let's just go back to it. Let's just dive right in, because we have the oldest one right here. And here's the thing I can tell you about most of the time with the oldest patterns. They're almost always not complete. Like, I hate to break that to you, but that is just kind of how this goes. Oh, and you're toe up from the flow up. Hello?
Here's Johnny.
Do I even know how many pieces there are? Yes, it does say so. There are 6 that I'm looking for. But I did pay for this, although I'm not going to use it in this bag because it's crunchy. Oh yes, I should remind you that there are 59 patterns left to go. Yeah, so I gotta do this one, and then I gotta go quick. Okay, so little 2330 is actually complete. Isn't that cute? But you know what? I do have, you know, the couple advance in this bin, and then this bin will be empty. However, I still have the other bin with 50 patterns. So 58 patterns to go equals, I think this has had its moment. Because yes, indeed, I did thrift a giant analog clock for you. 1, so that y'all don't like accidentally see my messages come through. And 2, because I would like that to be noise in the background while I work. And then we're gonna go with just time-lapse Magoo and see how long this actually takes me to get through 58 patterns at 9:30 at night. Nothing quite like the feeling of pulling in an advance and looking down at the pattern and going, that's McCall's. Okay, into the random section you go. Nine down, 50 to go. I can't quite do it. I should have done the 50 earlier because I did all the simplicity. All the 40 are done. All that I have to do tomorrow is the last 10, but I can feel myself getting too tired and it's all blending together even though I'm writing everything down. So I'll see y'all tomorrow.
The next day.
Well, now that I've gotten some rest and I am feeling just a little bit better, I do think that it is time to finish up with these last 10 patterns so that we can move on and get an accurate timing and do the rest of the steps, because in case you were wondering, that is not where this journey ends. Just checking. No. But let's check what's in this box right here, and then I will explain the rest. And done. At 1 p.m. the next day, I am finally done. Huzzah. But unfortunately, this is only the tip of the iceberg because I did tell you I was going to tell you what came next, and so that's what I'm going to tell you. What comes next is, do you see all these very lovely, cute patterns? But they are very fluffy. And you know, as a responsible seller, I don't feel comfortable just like shoving them back in the envelope, because then you get the product, you don't really like it, or it tears when you're trying to undo it. None of that works for me. So now I have to iron all of them. Because yes, if you did not know this, you can indeed iron vintage patterns. Not the transfers and not old tape, but the pattern tissue itself and the envelopes, especially when they look kind of, where's a crunchy one? Like that. You can iron all of these on a low temperature
with no water in your iron. My setting, I believe, is called polyester or delicate. That's the most I will ever put onto these patterns. And so now I must iron all of the fluffy ones. But before we do that, let me go ahead and tell you exactly what I found. So out of the 100 that I started with, I have 78 that need to be ironed, 8 damaged or incomplete, 12 that are factory folded, and 2 that have been bobbed. AKA they have mouse excrement on them and I will not be selling them. Now it's time to bring the heat. Sorry, I know it was a terrible joke. Anyway, it's time to iron the patterns. That's right, all 78 of them. I am also going to start a timer on my phone so that I can know exactly how long this takes. Because I will be doing this in small segments as I get moments, because you can't actually iron just straight for like 8 to 10 hours. You do need to do this thing called move and squat and, you know, when in doubt, kick, because otherwise your knees will lock up and you will pass out. So don't do that. And because you always want to start with your oldest pattern so you have your most attention span available, I'm going to start with the one from the 1930s. Now I will say this one just needs a quick press on the instructions just to kind of get this, because I'm not going to do anything to this. I'm just going to like gently fold it and put it away. I didn't push record for that. I'm so sorry. So 1 is missing a corner and 2 has a tear. So let's start with the very sad boy here. This is number 2. That does, it is supposed to have the split, but it's not supposed to also have the giant tear to go with the split. And all I'm doing is just gently like nudging these weird wrinkles open with the tip of my iron, very slowly and very gently, because I don't want to tear it. I will help them out a lot of the times before I bring the iron over, but all you're trying to do is just get as many of these out. Also, don't touch your ironing board when you've been ironing over the same section for that long, because it's hot. And so now what you can see here is this is the line that was pre-printed, and it has a 1-inch tear on this side and then like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a 6-inch tear on this side. So pretty sizable tear there. And this is literally what I just do. I just sit here and do this for hours on end because I don't want to send you this nightmare. I would much rather send you what this looks like when it's done. And now that piece that was big and ugly is legitimately so small. And I will do this for all the other pattern pieces. Now, the one thing I do want to say, if you treat this like the instructions, you always want to make sure that your pattern piece is smaller than the instructions, because that is how it slides in the nicest, because we all know the instructions fit in the envelope. So I always try to make sure that mine stay nice and small so that they'll slide nicely into where I'm going and they won't get damaged. And that is one pattern done, which I do believe took right around 13 minutes. Now, this was a particularly egregious one with a whole lot of like stuff that I had to go right down on top of it. However, that is pretty normal. But now I've put her in a little acid-free baggie. This is not done and listed. It is checked, it is ironed, it has been put in a bag. I have not scanned it and listed it yet. So to scan it, I want to leave these adhesive strips on fully. I don't want to remove these yet. Will I probably forget eventually? Yeah, probably. But for now, I did remember. So this one stays open. And now let's just go ahead and once again lock in and iron some patterns, eh?
Jesus. It only took an hour and 50 minutes, but I was able to get this very first stack of patterns done. And this is 18 patterns. That's right, basically 9 patterns per
hour. And this batch actually wasn't super bad because there was a fair number of patterns that were very flat and very folded nicely, so I didn't have to do that. It was like 1 or 2 pieces that were needed help, but that is how long it takes to get this right. But with 18 done, let's see how long it takes to do the other 60. Well, it is now 11 p.m. I have ironed another 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
15 patterns. I'm toast. That was enough because now my official timer is 3 hours and 14 minutes of just ironing. So if I do the 5.5, let's just say from the first one, and 3 1/4, that's, I mean, if we're rounding up here, that is almost 9 hours with none of them technically being ready to go. I think everything will be me slinking away for this video because, ow, my back is so mad.
The next day.
So after 7 hours and 17 minutes, that giant stack behind me, all 78 of them are now ironed, which means that, honestly, most of the hard work is done. We just now have to scan them and list them, which is arguably much easier on my knees and my back.
The next day.
And welcome to my downstairs office. Yes, that's right. There are 2 offices, one for filling orders, dealing with computer stuff, and the other one for sewing and shenanigans. This is the former. And I'm not going to lie to you, the reason you're on cinematic mode is because I really don't want to hear about the mess that's behind me. But right now we're talking about the mess in front of me, because now, once I have done all of my checks and everything, ironing is done, it is time to scan them into the computer. And while I would usually do scanning and listing sort of at the same time, for the exercise of today's video, I am going to do them separately. Which means that now the task comes to scanning all 90 of these patterns, 12 factory folded and 78 re-ironed patterns. Because remember, we have our 8 here that were just woefully incomplete. And a little bit earlier today, I did go ahead and just take a group shot of these so that I can try and sell them as a damaged lot, which I usually don't do, but I might start doing. So these 8 are all technically done, but the other 90, not so much. So now let's whir up that timer and get to scanning. And now with the fronts of those 4 done, I'm going to flip them over to the back and do the exact same thing. And with the first 4 taking 5 minutes and 36 seconds to do in total, these are markedly faster than the ironing, which is why this step is so much easier than the previous 2. But that doesn't mean it doesn't take time, so let's get back to it. I just realized that this entire batch, all the advance that I just did, and the McCalls up to this point, I was scanning in 75 DPI, which, in case you're wondering, is like potato scan. If there was a potato camera, this is the potato scan. So I have to now redo all the McCalls that I've done, the advance, and the mail order. Because I had restarted my computer, and I had not reset the DPI of the scanner. Yay. Is fixed now. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the rest of these and we'll see you in a little bit. So I started listing with my easiest patterns, the factory folded ones. These patterns have never been used before, so I know that they are complete and usually without damage. No idea when that turned off. Oh my god, I'm done. Oh no. That took so long. I've never timed that before, and maybe there's a reason for it. And it's all finally done. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that that was how long I thought it was gonna take, because we started with 100 patterns. And after checking them over 5 hours and 35 minutes, we were down to 98 patterns. From there, 78 patterns needed to be ironed, which took 7 hours and 17 minutes. And 90 patterns needed to be scanned, which took 3 hours. Those same 90 patterns needed to be listed, which took 6 hours and 53 minutes. Which means that my total time was 22 hours and 45 minutes to check, iron, scan, and list 100 patterns, which breaks down to approximately 14 minutes per pattern. But the upside is that all of these are going to be available right now. Available on my website, backroomfinds.com. So if you liked any of these kids' patterns, or if you just want to see exactly what I went through, checking wise, you can check them out over there. And if you do want to join the City Beauty family, make sure that you are clicking the link down below in the description or scanning the QR code and using my code, Stephanie Canada, for 20% off of your order. And until next time, I hope that you are sewing in chaos. We'll see you around. Bye. And thank you for Spitty Beauty has come in to help. I didn't do any of this with audio on. Okay, we'll just start over.
It's fine.
I don't know if that'll work. We'll find out.